endlessly searching for an original sound.
Hey guys, welcome to another Bloody Sunday. We're looking at A Place Forbidden. So let's see how long this game is. This one's another itch.io game. I think we did this during the PlayStation thing. Okay, doesn't seem to be anything there. So this one does actually have controller support, which is pretty nice. Full controller support, too. So, I believe we did do this, because I remember one of the puzzles in this specifically, but this is the full release for it. Yentil Grillman, April 9th, 1886. Mason Thomas, let's see. Greetings, visitor. You're more than welcome to sign your name and the date of your visit in this guest book. Once you've done that, we welcome you to explore the library to your heart's content, so long as it isn't after closing. Once you're filled, please let yourself out. You'll find the key to the front door on one of the desks in the study. Okay. I guess I signed my name. So I do love getting to do these weekly or every other week horror games. I can't see a thing. Who knew it could get this dark this quickly? Doesn't look like it's plugged in. Can't interact. Unresponsive. I remember I was sitting at home, reading a letter. Wait, what happened? But I didn't click anything. This is strange. Now I can't remember. From all our staff, welcome. We're glad you're here. The library is located in a picturesque part of Britannia. Britain. Yep. I'm gonna say Britannia because it's funnier. Atop a grassy knoll east of Sussex. Many rural townships, obviously bereft of their own libraries, refer their villagers to the library. It is beloved by all. Peruse our vast stock of fiction, non-fiction, poetry, and everything in between. Chat with friendly librarians and employees, and feel free to spend as long as you like reading, using our computers, or just spending time here. We always love new visitors. Should you hear any odd knocking in the corners of the building, pay it no mind. The library is on the older side, and the Foundation plays tricks on some of the visitors' minds. Don't worry, though. It's perfectly safe. I feel like that's a lie. What do you guys think? A pustule pulses on a dead dog's eye. Like these your head shall burst. Like these your head shall burst. So, creepy little library. Doesn't look much better than I feel. Phone? Maybe I'm working here now. I wonder where this phone could be. Oh, a cell phone.
Hello. Welcome to the Library of Ouroboros. We're glad that you've decided to visit our humble institution. Hopefully, you'll find what it is you're looking for. Please be informed that the library is closing. Since most of our staff are currently away, please lock the door on the way out. We hope you've enjoyed your visit.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't be here after closing. That was one of the warnings. Picked up a brass key. Oh, we could just leave. Handle turns, but I can't open it. Thanks for visiting the Library of Ouroboros. Okay, you're welcome. I'm sorry I came during closing time. I'll just see myself out. It's fine. Ouroboros, a circular symbol, the snake swallowing its own tail, a representation of the endless cycle of death and rebirth. of wholeness and infinite, and a certain kind of cloying meaninglessness. Never put much stock in mysticism, but in this place, it's pasted all over the goddamn walls. Tough to avoid that. Last I remember, I was on some occult website, sitting on the farthest end of the internet, past the places that normally dissuade the less curious. I had just a little too much time on my hands. I remember falling asleep. Now I'm here. The recording said this place is the Library of Ouroboros. Remember reading something about that, but not what or where. If you're reading this, keep an eye out. Something isn't right. So this is why you don't go to the dark web. Weird. Almost all of the words are crossed out, and the pages are stuck together. I can't open it any further. Nope, come here. You, where did you go? Where you go? Come here. Can I do anything with you? Maybe I should throw you away. Maybe I should put you here. Would you like to get scanned? Oh. Oh, I can't interact with that. Okay. Talk about a blast from the past. All the phone numbers are 3 digits too short. A long list of books and the dates they were checked out. Funny, none of them have a year listed, only months and days. That is odd. Doesn't move, feels a little warm to the touch. So we have a brass key. Can we pull it up? No, we can't. So maybe we should just leave. Oh, there we go. We can just leave. Wait a minute. This can't be right.
Hello. We'd like to inform you that the library is now closed. Note that it is unlawful to remain on the premises after closing. This is your one and only warning.
Well, I would like to leave. Yeah, somebody broke one of your computers. Not plugged in, still sparking. Strange. So, let's see. It's not working. It's a lot different than the demo, that's for sure. Oh, you've already destroyed the library, though. I can't help but feel as if I stand before the precipice of some terrible reality. Left one room only to come right back to it. Shame there's no place to go but straight ahead. I've hidden a few tools in this room in case the path ahead isn't what I hope it is. If they're not here anymore, then good news, the path ahead, at least immediately, is probably safe. 0 chance of any hostile entities. If they're still here, though, well, I hope they're useful to you. It's not the right one. You're going to need all the help you can get. Maybe we gotta throw that away. So we should look for the tools. A kind slumber. I've been driving for miles and miles and miles. It's night. I'm tired, so tired. Been on the road for what feels like days. Don't like this constant moving. Never have. But it wasn't this bad when I was younger. Could sleep in the car while my parents drove. Now I don't have anybody to drive me. 2 of them got too caught up in some of the darker parts of our world. A black library by our old house. They went in, never came back. They're why I can't sleep. Their book, what I learned without trying as I opened the dusty thing, sitting disused as I cleaned out what remained of the attic, didn't even mean to, and yet here we are. There'd been no other cars for hours. This dark stretch of road, my truck, all I've known as I drive along, a halo of red and blue neon forms within my windshield. A bastion in the dark. A tiny diner. Seat, sir? I nod. Rough weather out? She says, trying to smile as I take my seat. I can tell I look terrible. Do you know a place where I can get some shut-eye? I ask, almost without realizing it. I can't sleep, but maybe I can still try. Not a motel for miles. You can sleep at your table if you want, though. You don't even have to order anything. Thank you. I set my head down on the table, and my eyes don't shut. That black knowledge slithered its way from those stained pages and into my brain, and now it grips my eyelids, forcing them wide. The diner is sideways. I'm like this for a few minutes. Then there's someone else standing sideways in front of me. That man in that coat. His face is a dark red mass. Sleep deprivation? Tired, buddy? I nod. The table's as cold against my numb face. I think we can help each other. He reaches towards my face, laying a hand upon my cheek. There's a flicker of feeling of warmth that cuts through the fog that swallowed up my head for days. As he withdraws his hand, I see a strip of ragged flesh in it, which he brings to his face. Then he lifts his hand again, and the flesh is gone. Thanks, buddy. May I take the rest? I nod. The table's cold against my face, and as I finish nodding, he turns my head roughly and grabs at it, pulling away another strip of red. There's feeling. The tiredness becomes more pronounced. He doesn't ask any more, just takes. Each time his hand comes down, a little part of me leaves, but at that point I didn't much care. Take it all. I'd like to rest. The table's turned red, like the seat around us. Time passes, feeling's gone, sleep. The man in the coat takes down his collar, and I see my face looking down at me. Tired, he reaches down into my pocket, fishes out my keys. Rest easy, buddy, he says, and something else that I don't hear. He's gone. It all is. Okay. What in the world? A fan? A broken fan? And a VCR? Maybe? No, that's... Were you there just a moment ago? Maybe. We gotta figure that out. Codes. So I do love me a good horror game. I think you guys know that. You guys have been suggesting all kinds of good ones. Minister Doom, Act 3, Scene 2. Bernice enters, followed closely by the librarian. Bernice is breathless, looking both exasperated and slightly excited. Librarian's expression is unreadable, as per usual. But my husband will find out about us. He won't stay out forever. I wouldn't be so sure, my dear. But shall we retire to the living room, if we're to speak of such unpleasantness as your husband? Bernice's face breaks suddenly into a grin. She grabs the librarian's hand, taking him into the couch beside her. Fine, then. If you're to stay, I want to hear some of those secrets you keep talking about. You can't play me for a fool forever. I would never claim to do such a thing, my dear. Would you care to hear how I stop a human heart with but a word? Goodness, that sounds dangerous. It most certainly is. I wish to hear it. Then of course you shall. He leans close to Bernice, who closes her eyes as if expecting a kiss, but the librarian leans past her, whispering something to her ear. Bernice's eyes open wide. She gives a single jerk, a strangled groan, and goes limp, sliding off the couch, too curious for her own good. He stands, reaching in one of his pockets to withdraw a single black case containing Bernice's wedding ring. Taking a cursory look around the living room, the librarian eventually focuses on a single point on the opposite side. Librarian crosses the floor, leaves his item, and turns to leave. As he does so, the scene darkens. leaving a single spotlight to illuminate the stage. It is fixed on the small black case, which the librarian has decided to leave sitting upon the minister's writing desk. That was actually in the original, too. In the library, very early into my professorship, a student came to my office one spring afternoon with a stack of papers in her arms. She said she'd been having strange dreams of a place stretching forward and backward into infinity. Dreams of always splitting into hallways. Dreams of being lost in the intricate guts of some gigantic place that could not possibly exist. On the papers were crude sketches. She was no artist, she said, but something about the dreams had left such a vivid impression on her that putting what was in her brain to the pages seemed her only option. She was clearly distressed. When I gently suggested that she visit the university psychologist rather than the resident ancient history professor, she violently shook her head, asking if I knew anything about something called the Ouroboros Library, or perhaps a library of Ouroboros. I wasn't entirely clear. I told her the common knowledge about the symbol taken from the Egyptians by the Greeks, and from the Greeks by the medieval Europeans, a sign in alchemy of death and rebirth, and so forth. The student continued shaking her head all through my explanation, until she suddenly cut me off. "Those are too old," she said. "The place from my dream is modern. There's electric computers, but everything seemed ancient, and stink of old dust and damp wood, and something else. Please don't you know of anything in recent times that might have stemmed from that idea?" I confessed that I hadn't, especially considering the size and the many niches of the modern world. She left without another word, leaving her drawings behind. Something about that conversation shook me. I looked through the crude drawings made in a shaky hand and saw the familiar shapes and designs, an odd air of ominousness, looking at the facade of a dark building and hearing the slightest scratches of things that shouldn't be, just behind the stones. All very juvenile thoughts, and yet, when I went home that evening, I brought the drawing. I couldn't help but want to look more into what we discussed in the library of Ouroboros. It was largely fruitless. I found many sites and articles on alchemy, the symbol itself, or the public library in Ouroboros country, which was located somewhere in the rural Wisconsin. But just as the hours crept past midnight, I found something, the slightest snatch of information at the bottom of a rabbit-hole series of links. I will not repeat the website's domain, or my steps to arrive there, for fear that someone might try to replicate what I did. But I will repeat what I found, because just as that student couldn't get the ideas from her head without drawing, I found I couldn't think of anything else. Waking or sleeping, I hope this will help. The Library of Ouroboros, a kind of waking nightmare, arrived upon by those too curious for their own good. Rich in black secrets, rich in dark ideas, lost to time, rich in languages from the dead races on other planets. The fortunate die, the truly lucky, or perhaps the most unfortunate of all, become tenders for all time, knowing far more than any living being could ever hope to learn, without becoming a permanent, perpetually screaming stain on the face of space and time forever. None have left it unscathed. There are forbidden tomes that would prevent you from breathing should you merely touch them, and the tenders are beyond sanity and jealously keep their terrible secrets. You've searched enough. This is your final warning. That night I slept fitfully, my dreams beset by images of a dark and dusty place, eerie for its supposed normalcy. I could almost feel things passing by, just beneath this floorboards, within the walls watching me. Every exit led to another room, nearly the same as the one before it, and out the windows I saw only black. My dreams have been consistently disturbed since that night, so much so that it is hard for me to teach. So heavily preoccupied is my waking mind, I have this writing will be enough to put my mind at ease. One last thing. I've since tried to find the student who first contacted me to tell her what I learned. My hope was that I might be able to put her mind at ease, or at least commiserate with her. But I haven't been able to find her. In fact, since the day she visited my office, her roommates haven't seen nor has anyone else. And I feel I might be next. I do like the writing. I like creepy, what can I say? So, all that come here die or go insane. And we're here. And I can do this. Too smudged. A pretty shoddy barricade. Someone must have been desperate. Scribbles. No real words on the page. Note is largely obscured by blood. You can make out only a handful of words. In one of the dustier books, fall apart in my hands, there were these arcane scribbles. After I threw it away. Still not quite right, like something watching. Something's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I could not resist, sorry. Looks like there's something there, but I can't get to it. Looks like the library is starting to fall apart. Why? That wasn't there before. So we need to find the code. Let's see. Do you maybe have it? I just came from here, didn't I? So we have to figure out how to get out of here. Okay. I think we can do that. We haven't explored this room yet. So messy. Still a nice painting. Yeah. Well, I can't argue with that. Something about this place feels wrong. I think that's an understatement, darling. So after a bit of scrounging around, I think I figured it out. 4, 1, 2.
We've given you chances. Ample warning. You proceed, we threaten. Continue on your current path, and they will find nothing left of your head. We swear it. For the last and final time, go back from whence you came.
I would absolutely love to, you know. Alrighty then. I didn't, it's gotten cut out by now, but I had to throw my controller and everything because somebody was at the door. Not throw my controller, but like move it really quick. Time to put my amateur lockpicking skills to the test. Got it! Again? I just went outside. Something about this room is even worse than before. The last one. Before there might have been an odd feeling in the air, a certain untraceable scent, but it at least felt like somewhere people had been. Here, something's definitely wrong. I can hear something deeper in this room, barely perceptible, crying out in pain. Here goes nothing. How the hell is it locked if I just came from here? Auto-lock? There's no way I'm in the same library I was in earlier, right? This room is massive. Yeah, it is. what could be in the darkness, I wonder? B. Open atop the roof of the minister's estate. Thank you, Miko. The minister lies against the statue of a lion spattered with his blood. A saber hit protrudes from the gaping wound in his chest. The librarian stands over him, triumphant. And so you finally cease your pathetic withering. The minister spits up blood. Are you here to taunt me, or to end the charade? Go on. Go on, you've ruined my life. Destroyed it all I loved. Sever what remains, damn you. Come now, minister. Is there any need for this melodrama? Kill me, damn you, kill me. Are you pleading for mercy? I wonder, trying to salvage the last of your pride. Doesn't matter, your reasoning is flawed. But are you? He doubles over his words lost in the bloody coughing fit. Consider it, your ties to this world are severed. All earthly connections gone. Had I wanted to kill you, I could simply have stopped your estate. I could have stepped into your estate and placed that saber between your shoulder blades. Yet even now you still breathe. Your wound's non-lethal. Or should I say non-lethal enough for our sake? Our sake? What the devil are you talking about? Forgive me, minister, but I'm afraid I've misled you. You see, this was never about vengeance. When I met you on your return from the city hall those 3 weeks ago, it was only a few hours after my first visit to the city. What? Then that tale about the library that I put out of business. A very flimsy lie, I'm afraid. Really, I'm quite amazed you didn't see through it. Oh, and since the truth is coming out in the open, it should be said that the odds were insurmountable from the start. You were never just fighting for an individual. I knew it. That maid will... Hell right. That maid is dead already. A half-hearted turncoat is of no use to me. Actually, it is exactly the truth that should come out, minister. For you see, there is no such thing as me. Never was. There is only us. The minister is silent, his mouth hanging open in shock and awe. A madman. Wrong, my friend. Neither mad nor man, nor are we here, as you so delightfully put it, to serve you. Quite the contrary, in fact. We want you to join us. The librarian steps closer. We are always in need of fresh, strong minds. Your impeccable business sense, and your knack for keeping it from ever sullying your spotless, smiling public face has proven that you have exactly that. My God, get back. Your God is dead, or asleep, or else he is somewhere out of hearing, or else he does not listen at all. No, minister, my friend. You cannot choose between him and us. The only choice is to come to us willingly, or for us to take you. The minister's hand darts into his coat, past the saber. In a flash, he withdraws a flintlock pistol. I make my own options. The minister fires straight at the librarian's heart, a perfect shot at zero range. But then, when the smoke finally clears, the librarian still stands, casually reaches up to brush the pistol shot from his overcoat. Regrettably, it seems you forfeited your right to choose. The scene darkens as the minister gives a strangled, agonizing scream. The light returns, the minister stands alone. It is only him, the saber, the blood-stained lion. Get comfortable, minister. We'll be spending a lot of time together. I don't like that. Oh, so it seems like these creatures seem to take over people. Let's see. Are you still actually working on your side? And now candles. Totally not a fire hazard. Oh, but what does this library care about fire hazards? Is this the direct path? Because I feel like I should be exploring elsewhere then. You all want me to read that. So I want to why not? On the failures, word has it that those who pass the librarian's bleak test are granted knowledge beyond the keen of any other. But you want to know about those who failed. Each fate is as miserable as the next, but well, some are allowed to retain their sentience, but lose all mobility. Their spirits are torn from their bodies, with the latter being cast away. Librarian takes these spirits and compresses them. That's right, those tomes you've seen lining this place, those books you've ignored, many of them were once like you, poor fools lost in a foreign place. Then there are the husks, shambling bodies that move without direction, through the library's infinite halls, searching for heads that have long since been taken from them. Are their souls still here, locked away in some dark forgotten keep? Potentially, but they will search fruitlessly and forever. These fates are equally terrible, forever trapped in a place, forever cursed to wander. But there is one worse than both, especially poignant failures. Those that attract the librarian's knowledge but fail in the end are given especially poignant punishments. Some say that in the library's deepest depths, the walls shudder and shake, and the pulsate with the life that should have died long ago. And some say that these walls are formed of those promising few who could not prove themselves. Is there any egress from this place? Death or otherwise, perhaps not, but I will certainly never see it. I'm so boned, aren't I? What can I say? I enjoy reading stuff like this. Playing the evil one is usually a lot of fun. Oh! Okay, so we can leave there, but there was another pathway, so I do want to explore that real quick. Seems like we are going deeper and deeper to meeting the librarian. I feel like this might be one of my longer videos for some reason. That's okay. Wrong turn. Fair enough. I mean, I can't really argue with you. Can't really argue. Alright. What is this place? That's something I want to mess with. Alright, I guess we go deeper and deeper in. Perhaps the librarian is amused by us? God damn it. Where the hell is this going on? Why am I back here?
Like a beetle in an antline's trap, you flail your way deeper. It is gratifying to watch you wriggle your way to your doom. We so rarely have new visitors. Perhaps we won't spatter you across these walls. Perhaps we'll allow you to stay, join the others. It is what you want, is it not?
I suppose. Made it into this room, and I'm not going any further. Caught a glimpse of him, bastard that's been talking in my ear. Was wearing a dark cloak, so I couldn't see much more than his figure. Shape of his head wasn't human. Makes sense. Can't stop capitalizing his name. Psychosomatic? Or did he do something to me? No, I won't be able to stay here forever. No, he wasn't. No, he's waiting for me just a little beyond the door on the other side of this room. Looks like I've got a date with this crevasse. Anything's preferable to what I think he's got in mind for me. If you're reading this, you should probably join me down here. Whatever's ahead won't be pretty. Well, I hate to tell you, buddy. I'm not going through there. I I think I'll continue and see where my curiosity leads us. This image makes me feel like I miss someone. An optimistic painting for a place like this. Never been one for modern art. Can't say I don't blame you, my friend. Never trust a skeleton. Truer words were never spoken. You wouldn't even be here had you not been so damn curious. Only caught a letter from a friend, and then you woke up here, yeah? Nothing you did? I know better. You've searched for the library at home, actively tried to be as scorned by the pull of the black knowledge in forgotten places on the internet, in the dusty cabinets of the world. You were looking for something. We both know why, but it was all because of that letter. But it isn't just guilt that moves you, is it? It's that hungry feeling, that desperate wish to know all there is before the grave wraps its gnarled hands around your legs and pulls. Though mine has been lost to the ages, I can sense your heart beating. In fact, everything in and around the library can. Poor stupid bastard, if you recognize that forces you've caught the attention of, think you'd go the way the one before you did. Librarian sure does like to play with us. That's different. Now it's an eyeball. Now it's an eyeball. Like in flesh. Bet you're not gonna move, right? Still stuck. I wonder if there's even anything behind this door. That's impossible. I'm sure there was a door here. I wonder if another one will come out bloody. Nah. Oh, a little bloody. I don't like it at all. When adulthood found her, she found herself desiring solitude more and more frequently. Since her youth, her home had sat at the edge of a vast forest, which her family had warned her against exploring. But on the night of her 30th birth, she went alone to finally explore it. The woods were equal parts dark and foreboding, with thin, sickly antlers creating almost a fence of wood. As she waved between them, she arrived at a derelict cabin abandoned for years. Naturally, she entered, her curiosity driving her. They said that the marks found of what remained of her body afterwards bore wounds as if made by a bear, though few had seen a corpse so thoroughly scavenged by animals. Was it deer? Was it deer? That joke's probably going to be good for the rest of the year. For at least a few more months. So we can't do anything yet, even though we have a screwdriver. He was an only child, left alone for too long. A child as children are wont to do. He went off in a high grassy hills above the apartment complex he called home. The tall grass came almost to his chin, tickling his nose when he stepped forward. The freedom normally kept from him was finally his, and it was his magic in its way. So deeply enthralled with the hills, the grass, the view of town was he, that he did not think to listen for the rustling grass. When the snake's fangs sank into his young flesh, they met no resistance. His body was found days later, huddled in a ball. Picked up snake tablets. Sneaky Bicky. He was old as sin, perhaps older, and had lived alone for a long time. Over his many years, he had accumulated much wealth, knowledge, fond memories, but nothing to stop the onset of time. As he walked through the dark halls of his mansion, as he paced in the dark, as he worried away his time in his study, Time continued along, tearing at his flesh, bending his brittle bones. The hand of the clock peeled his organs away from his body, one by one, until his waning strength finally failed him. He was found slumped in his chair, surrounded by books bearing unidentifiable sigils. In the end, even they had not saved him. Picked up the clock tablet. I forgot that one. Fire tablet. Oh no, I don't think we read the fire tablet, did we? In her middle age, she had little to do, and so gained a fascination with the old radio in her attic. It was a relic from her childhood, and it had never worked properly. As she waned in the seclusion of her home, a desire to see it working again overtook her. Her curiosity matching her seclusion, nature's equal parts. She plumbed knowledge in the dark recesses of her attic, building capacitors and vacuum tubes, twisting metal and wires. In the end, the radio sang. It was more than a radio should have been. Flames spouted from the speakers, from the wires, from the shattered glass tubes. The fire ate up everything it touched. She was reduced to a blackened skeleton. When adulthood found her, she found herself desiring solitude more and more frequently. Okay, so that was the bear one. Looks like a phase of moons. Abstract art. Oh. Okay. So... this one's a little wonky. Alright, so I think the bear goes there, the clock goes there, and I think... no, the clock goes there. So I'm missing one. Where's the final tablet that I'm missing? There it is. He was 16 when he went driving alone for the first time. His family had kept him from the world, he said, and it was more than high time he went to learn about what was out there. It was less than an hour before he was lost. He hadn't received his license yet, after all, and there were many winding side streets surrounding the small town he called home. It was on a lightless intersection where he met his fate. A pickup hit his sedan without stopping. As his vehicle spun out and rolled into a ditch, the pickup vanished into the night. His head was pulverized by the steering column, turning it a little more than paste. Got it on my first try. Woo! The safe contains a lump of blackened flesh. Okay. It's hard to even be surprised anymore. You know, this should be on Steam.
You piqued our curiosity. We read your book, discovered that, for a mortal, you're rather unique. In the same way that a human might consider a primate, you almost remind us of ourselves. Though, of course, we'd never stoop to your level.
What, just because I have a Patreon? Dark comes crashing down. It swallows you whole, swallows you whole. Oh god, the lights go dim one by one. That's why I brought a flashlight. Christ. Maybe it's safer not to move at all. That thing in the safe. I think I recognize it. Well, now we know that.
Get out! Get out! Can't you find your way out?
I'd like to get out. But you keep, taking the door from me. Losing my mind has been a lot less fun than I thought it would be. I mean, you're kinda right. I thought going insane would be a lot more fun than this.
You should find your way out soon. You won't want to be there when the light fades in full.
So the librarian wants us to leave, or is he just mocking us? Isn't that the curious question? There's something sinister about these paintings. Yeah. What happens if I walk here? Okay, I can just walk there. It's like, how are we gonna do this? Something is blocking me from getting to that door. I'm gonna say magical hate.
Soon you shall see what she saw.
What? Death? I'm gonna guess that it's locked? Oh! Wait, did I eat someone? What? Okay. That happened. So the library is now eating us. Oh! Well, thank God I'm finally back where I entered. Time to get the hell out of here. Look, your library was very, very nice. Thank you so much for letting me visit. I'm getting out of here. I want nothing of this place anymore. Or at least our character doesn't. And again... Huh? I guess I can't read. Let's see now. Picked up brass key. Oh, okay. I should leave that one. So it looks like we really can just leave. Or is this just a trap? I feel like this is going to turn into a trap. Oh, hey, there's a handprint on it. I never actually noticed that. I wonder if I can use the key over here. Doesn't move at all. Feels a little warm to the touch. Yeah, we need to get out of here. Oh. Oh, F you. Fuck. What? A never ending.
Oh, good. You're finally here. Certainly kept the suspense going. Stay right there. We shall be with you shortly, and once we're there, we'll turn your form into something more palatable. More arms, we think. More legs. The eyes out. Stay right there.
But I like my eyes. What? Bye. That certainly wasn't the way to go. What? Is that? I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. Whee! Don't listen to them if you can help it. You and me, we're birds of a feather. I can tell better to pull the covers over your head and your ears, in case you hear something you don't want to hear. Sit down and let the inevitable wash over you. I take this fate to turning into one of those husks. Ugh, gives me shivers. Listen carefully. But if you're really hell-bent on repelling into the lion's gullet, and don't say I didn't warn you, I guess you need all the help you can get. Here's what I have to say. Listen carefully.
Everything is fine. Nothing. Can harm. Stop
I think you
thinking.
did something wrong. Play dumb all you like. The librarian already knows your body, inside and out. He spent all of his time searching and eventually he found his goal. There are places even in the digital world where things not meant for mortals' eyes lurk. He caught only the slightest glimpse of one such place, and it was enough. The eyes of the librarian were upon him. From the point forward, what happened was destined to happen. And worst of all, he would never find the knowledge he sought. Maybe it's better this way. Oh. Well, now what happens if we use the doors? Now we're back here. Maybe the skeleton is the librarian? Probably shouldn't have taken that cell phone. I feel like that was a bad idea. Okay. Still got just skeletons upon skeletons. It's actually longer than I thought it would be. Don't interact with the paintings. Do you want me to go through the ground again? Or maybe... Nope. The door does nothing. So I guess we're going on another little trip. Whee! What? Okay. Let me try that one again. Curious. Librarian seems to have great joy in taking his time to find us, honestly. Whee. A different room entirely. So it's randomized, I wonder? Huh. Looks like something goes here. Okay. Well, isn't this place a wreck? If I lived someplace as disorganized as here, I think I'd just be a matter of time before I was swallowed up by all the trash. I like the staircase, though. Very nice touch. You're probably wondering what needs to be done here. I think deep down you already know. Since you're so inclined to play dumb, though, I'll give you a hint. It'd be a lot easier to get around here if you could organize everything somehow. Well, if you wanted me just to clean, you know, you could have just asked. Well, I would like to organize things, but I'm not quite sure what you want me to. Bookshelf and stairs. Maybe I have to bring something here? No, there's nothing here, so I think maybe this room I can't do anything with. I feel like I have to find definitely those items. The question is, though, how? Curiouser and curiouser. What happens if I go down here? The way these things wiggle, it's almost within as alive. Yeah, they probably are. Joy of the recluse. Of his 5 fingers he lost 2. Only 3 remained. Without the first, he would have been an animal. Without the second, he'd be a loner condemned. And without his final remaining finger, his hand would look a little strange. What? It's a puzzle. Get that. The third. Yeah, you little bastard, this is what things look like. Here, anyway. I've spent a lot of time in this hellhole, and I'd be willing to bet if you dug up the floorboards anywhere, this is what you'd find. Eyes, pulsating flesh, putrid red guts, blood. That's what I think. I think this is all there. A place like this, without cease, wouldn't exist on its own. Librarian would like to give you a hand. The flesh in that safe does not operate like its predecessor. I know, I've been doing a lot of reading. What do you want? Fit. That moment you think you shouldn't be in a spot. And yet, here you are. So... got that. Second. So we have to think about that puzzle. That's all of them. Remember, he only lost 2 fingers. I know more than the others, but I won't tell you. He spent too much time alone thinking, and that accelerated his downfall. A terrible thing befell that woman he claimed to have loved. It consumed him, consumed his very waking moment, whether or not he had been loved back. The depression lost him his job and his home, returning a sad wreck of a human being into a sadder, hollower thing. His focus, his obsession never stayed. She was gone from his life, and as far as he was concerned, it was all that mattered. Even when a family member took him in and sheltered him, he all but ignored them. So enraptured he himself he was. I think now we can leave. Where was the door? Right there. Well, this is new. Librarian, I really gotta say, I kind of like this update to the library. Who knew that the little game that was from the demo disc ended up being so big? There are 2 ways out. Whee! This one led... We've already done this one. Okay, so there is kind of an order. As weird as that sounds. So we want to go this way. This room again? Everything must be organized somehow. So, did I get anything to put here? Oh, I found one item. Oh. So I forgot something in those other rooms. That's what happened. Each room had an item. And I, like a fool, forgot the items. For I, like a fool, am a fool. This is new. If this place were a mind, it would be not be pure. The answer to the path ahead is embedded in a column of red flesh. Okay. Locked. So there's something I've got to take. I don't know why I keep doing that. There's really no reason for it. Oh, there it is. Got it. Alrighty then. Box. Cameras. Bloody handprint. Everything is normal. That must be the librarian. Tentacles. Phone. Tentacles. Must be a Japanese library. Nothing eligible here. Yep, there we go. Card holder. Alright, so we got it. So there is one other... Wait, what? Wait, what? There are reoccurring themes in each memory. And one that is alone. The numbers will open your path. 3, 3, 2. There's no way. Oh! You little shit, like you hadn't done enough already. Now I'm trapped here, damned to repeat this shit like I'm a goddamn tape recorder. You had 1 ounce of remorse. You'd dash your brains out of the nearest wall. He was never much good at forming connections with people, and this time wasn't any different. That woman who'd walked into his life, spent a night and a half with him, had recognized him for what he was, an empty, half-born piece of sentient scum. Naturally, he took eons more from their brief tryst than she ever intended. Spent days upon days picking their every second together apart, thinking about what he could have done differently. Not once did he even consider that he should have known in the first place that there just wasn't anything to him. He wasn't a person enough for himself, let alone for others. It's just mean. Where did I end up this time? Yes, that's the room I wanted to be in. So I just need that last one, which I believe I did that room. I just forgot the item. Darn it. That's the one I think I need to go into. So I need to find the item. Which is right here. Got it. Now we can leave. Now to turn in the final item and get the heck out of here. So I'm trying a couple of new editing tactics with this stuff, so let me know what you think. Not editing tactics. I don't know what word I'm saying. I've been recording for a while and I'm tired. I knew you'd come. Very well, I'll speak. He was always inclined towards solitude. Not that he had any choice in the matter. In fact, if he had, perhaps solitude would not have been his lot. But he was terrible with words, worse with speaking. It wasn't so much a matter of laughter at his expense. He was merely a curiosity, an ingrown, strange thing, vaguely uncomfortable, but otherwise without a note. There was one exception to his lonely existence. As he aged, he found himself in the position of an archivist, surrounded only by dust, dead things, dead words. Though he had grown used to the solitude, he hated it with a burning, quiet passion. Thus, when the graduate student about his age came to plumb the dry and dead things, he forced himself to strike up conversation with her. To his delight, she returned his words, and for the first time in ages, he felt his heart beat faster. We did good. We are out. So, are we talking about the librarian, perhaps, or us? Did we kill the girl? I have a feeling we did. Let's see. He was aware enough to be jealous, though she rebuked his advances, though she suggested the two of them never see each other again. It was, of course, not enough for him. He would come by daily, nightly. When she locked the door, he would continue to bang on it. When she called the police, he still found ways to watch from afar. Until one night, that is, when he watched an unknown foreign shape enter her abode. Though he could only barely make the silhouette out, he could tell it was a man. And that was enough to send him into a rage. The authorities arrived too late on the scene to save anyone. Though the fire was contained, the victims died of smoke inhalation. Somehow they hadn't been able to open the front door. The screwdriver, keeping it from jammed, was no longer at the scene of the crime, of course. Oh. What was that we took at the beginning of the game was a screwdriver. and I'm no longer in control. When I next opened my eyes, I found myself in an empty road, in a desolate place. There was a faint, ephemeral quality to everything. In the back of my head, I felt the burn, like a fallen ember from the end of a cigarette. Was I free? Was I still trapped within the library's vast expanses? And how could I tell, even if I arrived home and everything was as it had been? How could I know if the library's voice? I guess it doesn't matter either way. At the end of everything, I never found what I could come to the library again for the rest of my life. I think I'll find... Okay, this is going on its own, by the way. Perhaps the failure was a blessing. Empty as I find myself left, perhaps there was something even worse waiting for me. I think I got the bad ending. But I doubt it. Say no, what? So, very fun little game. If you want to pick this, if you want to play this game, it is free on itch.io. I will link it in the description. Thank you guys for another wonderful Bloody Sunday. And I hope to see you all again. Don't forget to comment on a horror game you'd like to see me play, or a regular game. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
This is a no-go. I just can't take